Hey, hey, hey.
6:33. Who's on? Who's not public? Who's in the public? Who's in the public? There needs to be participants, just the 5 of us. Tavares 3-4 and Jimenez from the 3-3. So we're good. Can you hear us?
Tracy McNeil, pleasure to meet you. What's your name?
Sonia,
Pleasure.
likewise. Are you?
Are we on?
To this committee, yes, I previously.
Can you
was
hear
on
us?
these Bylaws and, parks,
Oh, good for you. So you've been on for a while.
just 3 years, 3 years.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
3 years? Yeah,
How about 9?
you're on 9 years? Yikes.
It was just like yesterday. Came in, made a lot of noise, and speak from the crowd. You should be here. Just made a lot of. I just made a lot of. I did. Are we on? Tanisha, can you hear us?
He was here a moment ago.
I was just there, right?
Yes, yeah.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Tanisha Grant, community board member. I'm new at this. This only, I think, my second year going into my third. I'm second vice chair of the community board. I'm a part of this public safety committee, and I am vice chair of the education and youth group. Glad to be here. I'm also coming to y'all from Somos in Puerto Rico, so pray for me.
Somos.
Right on. Are you there now?
Yep, I have already seen our assemblyman is here. I think our councilwoman is coming, but I've already seen a lot of people. But I have to be on this meeting, so I am here.
Thank you for taking the time, Tanisha.
Yeah, thank you,
When you
Tanisha.
could be having a cocktail.
For advocating for our community at
Yes.
Somos
Love
with, at that, conference. That's important.
Thank you so much. I seen Manny and he was like, "You came after us at the community board meeting." And I was like, "I sure did." Like, we need to know what's gonna happen, when
That's
so
always
many
good.
people in our community won't have food. This is a serious matter, and I need them to come with concrete plans and not, that other stuff. So
Are we
I
already?
can count on me to continue to start trouble.
Right, so I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It's 6:36. Thank you, folks, for being here tonight, taking the time, your busy schedules, to come and have this conversation. I don't see Jocelyn Minaya there, so we're gonna start with the 33rd precinct and their report. Hopefully we'll get a little more than just the stats, and we get something fun.
So what you're looking for?
Action.
Action?
Not really. It's a bad action.
Well,
Let's have
I
less
know,
action.
and I would have came with some
Action.
jokes, but I'm not a comedian, so
How about some collaboration with the community?
we could work on that.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm gonna start with the stats, even though he didn't want me to.
No, yeah, go ahead.
So I'm gonna start with the 28th day. So our rapes are 1 for 1 with 0% rise. Our robberies are even past 28th day, 15 versus 15. We have seen a slight increase in our felony assaults, 18 versus 12. Our burglaries have a significant increase for the 28th day and year to date. For the 28th day, our burglaries have decreased by almost 54%. What we are seeing this past month is a slight spike in our grand larcenies, 29 versus 25. I'll get on that. I'll broaden up on that in a minute, in a second. And I just want to point out we have a slight increase. We have a big decrease in our GLAs this past month of 50%, 3 versus 6. So the grand larcenies, where are they coming from? So the main thing is they're auto related. Our big part of our grand larcenies are auto related. Car breakings along Edgecombe and Riverside Drive. Most of it's happening on the midnight. Overnight, we've seen it's taking place in darker areas of the precinct along Riverside Drive. So what we've done is we've requested more cameras in the area. And also what we've done, if you notice along Riverside Drive, there's now light towers. So every night those light towers are going on, and so we bring some light. Hopefully, the visibility of light towers, increase patrols, will hopefully deter some crime in the area. Most of our, like I said, grand larcenies, in regards to vehicle theft, are rims and tires. People leaving things in their car overnight in these dark areas. Money, we see jewelry being left. What we ask is, it's a lot of it is things that could be avoided. Don't leave your jewelry in the cup holder. Unfortunately, perpetrators, they go around, they see it's dark, they see jewelry, they break in, and now the owner of the vehicle lost their valuables. The vehicle thefts, we had a elderly gentleman, they stole his tires. If you could get some wheel locks, and that might not solve the problem. It may not be 100% effective, but it will at least deter some of the crime or buy you a couple of minutes. If someone sees the theft going to happen, it buys a minute or two of time on behalf of 911 to get there. So it's things like that we need some type of collaboration from the community to help. We're hoping that the light towers are effective. We're hoping they do deter some of the crime. The light towers are along there's also light towers along the speedway. If you go over there, along there from 155 up toward the entrance to the FDR, I believe, is it Riverside Drive, you'll see that there's some light more light presence in the area. We've also requested some cameras for those areas, so hopefully those will be approved and we'll be able to catch these perpetrators who are doing these. Also, the grand larcenies also are coming from still the chain snatchings. That's an ongoing effort. It's an uphill battle. We've had numerous operations. So far, the command this year has seized about 425 scooters. So that's
1 month, under 28
No,
days
no, for the year.
for the year.
Yes, but that's still a significant amount of scooters. They're enforcing, the illegal driving, the reckless driving. But how do we deter that? The collaborative community. A lot of times, the victims, sometimes they're elderly, a lot of them are female, but their chains, their jewelry are all visible. It takes 2 seconds with someone, a victim crossing the street, and next thing you know, the scooter comes, snatches a chain, and they're gone. There's been a couple of times that they call 911 30, 40 minutes later. They go home and call 911. By then, it's unfortunately, it's not too late, but it just makes the investigation that much more difficult. So it's also, if everyone's on their phones, they'll have their head down on their phones. They're not paying attention to surroundings. We need people to take, always be aware of surroundings. Does anyone have any questions?
I do, I just wanna drill down just for some clarification.
Sure.
So, we know that grand larceny is anything's being stolen over $1,000. And it sounds like initially what you were talking about is having to do with in terms of the car stuff, leaving the tire stuff aside. Are you saying a lot of the car break-ins, are you thinking those are crimes of opportunity? Or do you think it's something more nefarious, calculated, like people are going out and sort of
So the car break-ins, investment detective, and specific to people leaving things in their car, I think that's crime of opportunity.
Okay.
The vehicle thefts, the rims and tires, that's more, I would thinking it's more of people going out, and it takes 4 minutes, 5 minutes, even 3-4 minutes to jack up these cars on cinder blocks, take the rims and tires, and go.
They're sophisticated. These guys.
They're very sophisticated. When it comes to I don't know if you've seen the news, it was actually in the news last week. I forgot what channel. The vehicle thefts, the grand larcenies, there's now almost like a key fob.
Yeah.
You're able to pull next to the vehicle. I don't know exactly what it's called, but you're able to pull next to the vehicle it reads the code to that car. And with this, I don't want to call it a fob, but I don't know exactly what it's this little remote device.
It's like a scar reader.
It's like a scan reader, but not only does it access the car, they can start the car with that. What we're seeing is from our investigations, it's taking about 2 minutes. And that's very sophisticated. That is a very quick time frame to get that vehicle. By the time 911 is, if someone sees it happening, but even if within 2 minutes, by the time 911 is called, that car is gone. So yes and no. Does that answer your question?
Yes, for the first part, my next question has to do with the chain snatching, and you'd mentioned it last time, but for if there's anyone live streaming that wasn't here
Okay.
previously, what you're saying is people are going by on scooters as people are walking down the street and they're having their chain snatches.
Yes.
That's essentially what's
That's
happening.
a lot of it. That's what's happening. It's opportunity of this visible jewelry, visible valuables, going across the street. It's not. I'm not trying to say it's everyone, but a lot of it is people are on these perpetrators are on scooters, and they're using these scooters to come across these individuals, and they have.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I see you.
No, I was going to say is that that stat is sort of couched in all the other stats. How many since last month? How many people are actually having their chain snatched?
The chain snatch. I don't have the breakdown right in front of me. I'll have to get that to you.
Yeah, and I'm just sort of being
I'm sure I
like,
could get
was
that
it
to
like 20 or are we like at like 200?
I
Like,
would-
what's the level of
so-
epidemic?
Let's see if I can break it down. If I have something in front of me right now. So if you're asking for the year or you're asking for the year to date, I don't have it right in front of me.
Is chain snatching even a crime within itself?
Well, if it's over yes.
No, as a reporting wise, like, does that report chain
Yeah, they would
snatching?
have to look
Yeah,
at it.
it's one of the depending if there's force or not, it's either a robbery or a grand larceny.
Exactly, it's really like.
Robbery, but it is one of our.
Part of these grand larceny thefts. So
It is one of the 7 majors that.
reported.
Right, but what I'm saying is to sort of like to help his argument. I don't know if he's doing it or not, but if you're looking from like diving into what the grand larcenies are within it, that's where you're probably going to find a chain snatching incident.
Correct.
Right?
I would have to look into the numbers. I would have to
Exactly.
break down
He has to look into those.
I would have to break down the robbery and the grand larceny
Exactly.
numbers,
Right.
which I don't have in front of me, which I could get to you. I could get to you if you need.
I think we're just interested to know the extent of the problem. Like, is this something?
The thing is that you park your car somewhere bad and you leave jewelry out and something happens, that is a particular type of crime versus the type of crime that's affecting people's quality of life that can affect them walking down the street is attacking their personhood. And for it to be couched in a grand larceny stat, which is what we're getting, which is great and helpful, but it doesn't give the distinction about how much people's personhood is safe walking down Washington Heights. And I guess this is sort of where I was going is that we're going to hear the rest of these stats, but stats that have to do with like cars or late at night or isolated incidents or crimes of opportunity are very different from the quality of life sort of stats that happens with like drunken disorderly or domestic violence, or at least in terms of affects sort of day-to-day Washington Heights as we're walking around. So that was the point of me drilling down. But if we don't have those stats, no worries.
I could get it to you. I can get it to you though. I just don't have the breakdown.
Yeah, we appreciate
It's
that.
not
I
that,
want
it's not that
that
we don't have the stats. Is that
I hear
yeah,
you, but I'm
yeah.
asking him.
It's just-
So
it's
that's what I
just-
want to hear the
It's
answers.
just, I get that, but from experience, I'm just telling you that question has already been asked many, many times. So he's gonna give you the same answers that I'm giving you. So
Okay.
just try to help you out.
Okay.
Okay, Lieutenant.
Anything
Can go.
else or?
I've got a question for you. So I'm a part of our traffic and transportation committee as well, and we were discussing the bridge entrances, the Washington Bridge entrance on the east side and the GWB entrance on the west side. And these are hot spots where there's a lot of dangerous driving. There's a lot of people who will, get impatient and then, go the wrong way on the street or try to make a turn on a red because they're waiting for the bridge. So we were wondering what you all are doing and how you're able to kind of affect and control traffic in that area and what you do to try to reduce the amount of dangerous driving that we see in that area because it's a big problem.
So the Washington Bridge on the east side, that would be the
you may
top
be-
of the 3-4.
Right.
That's a 34.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
I'll answer those questions when it's
Yeah,
3-4. I got you.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So, and then you mentioned the George Washington Bridge. You're referring to the entranceway?
Yeah, which is 179, I think. And
Okay.
Fort Wash.
Are you seeing just reckless driving, or you're seeing failure people just trying to cross the street and?
Yeah, we had a lot of reports of dangerous driving at that intersection where by the bus terminal where there's people
By
we heard
Broadway.
people going the wrong way on the street to try to go around somebody to zip onto the bridge. And obviously
Okay.
there's a lot of pedestrian traffic in that area with the A train and there's a lot of large buildings there. So we were concerned that
Okay.
there's not much enforcement
All right,
there.
so we could definitely increase some enforcement. I'll speak to our Q team sergeants, and we'll definitely increase some Vision Zero enforcement.
Great.
In the vicinity of 177 B Way, for Washington, in that area. I'll
Yeah,
definitely.
and we're working on it also with DOT and thinking about the signaling and everything. So hopefully long term it gets better, but it's just a mess. That entire stretch where people are waiting,
You're
especially if
referring
there's accident.
If I'm going north on Broadway, I'm trying to make the left right underneath the.
Yeah, under
Underneath
the
the
overpass
overpass.
there, going left on Broadway towards the bridge. That block is crazy.
Okay. Definitely.
Still, let me ask you, so is the Port Authority has still jurisdiction over that block, or that used to be the case, like used to always get.
Don't quote me about the street, but the building and the overpass itself is Port Authority.
Yeah. So
But I
yeah,
doubt-
once we're on the ramp, that's Port Authority.
I
Yeah.
doubt Port Authority will be addressing any traffic condition. So
Yeah,
that part would fall on us.
cool. Thank you.
And you mentioned that a lot of the hotspots are Riverside and Edgecombe. Have you guys made the attempt to maybe speak with DOT or maybe it's the local or city councilwoman as to get money to improve the lighting there? Because it seems to be like this been a recurring issue for years. As long as I've been here, it's always
Okay.
been that case.
I do like the suggestion. I'm not sure if Captain Hernandez, I'm interested in almost every meeting with him. I've never heard him speak about referring to a councilwoman in regards to
Yeah,
lighting.
he should get money from the discretionary funding and try and get lighting in there. Maybe by funding DOT and then DOT will install them. But that's a request.
That's actually a good idea. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that request should really come from NYPD to city
Okay.
council, to the council DOT, and she can fund it.
Okay. Just since you brought up the that condition, just so everyone knows, we also change our officers tour, the public safety team. They're currently working 7:30 at night to 4 in the morning, one team, and the other team is at this point working 4 a.m. to 12:30 in the afternoon in order to address these car break-ins. So that's.
Are you saying there's police presence during that time frame in those areas?
There is at this point as we speak, but I want to elaborate on that. Come Friday actually, the public safety team, as per One Police Plaza, will no longer exist. We're becoming an NST neighborhood safety team, so their tours are probably most likely going to be changing. That's not coming from us. That is coming from headquarters. We don't really have much of a say in it. Neither does Captain Hernandez. That's coming from downtown. So their tours there's probably a good chance they might be working an earlier tour. And as we initially had two, for the past 2 months, we've had two teams. For about over a year, we had two teams. But for the past few months, we've had those hours to address this condition. We've gone from two teams. We're now going to be one team. And it's, like I said, it's coming from one police plaza. That's not a decision we can make.
What are your staffing numbers like? Are you 75%, 50%? What are your numbers like?
Of officers,
Yes,
so I could give you, I actually ran the numbers for for Captain Hernandez last month. As of right now, we have 100 full-duty police officers.
100.
Yes, full duty.
And the number should be,
I ran it back to 2021. Back in 2021, with 135 full duty police officers. So we've lost around 35, maybe even more, police officers since in the past 4 or 5 years.
What's the reason for the decrease?
Hiring, resignations, retirement, transfers.
Quick question, what's the difference between full duty? You mentioned 100 full duty. Do you have also non-full duty, and how many of
We
those
have
do you
people.
have?
We have officers who are limited duty, where they might have gotten hurt, they're sick, and they're currently assigned to administrative functions in the command until they get back to be able to go back on the street.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Will the number increase in the near future, or is it gonna continue to decrease?
I can't elaborate. I don't think it's going to decrease. This last graduating class this week, we're not getting any officers. They're going to field training commands. It seems that's the new that's the new thing, and then from there they get reassigned after field training to other commands. So it looks like this week we didn't get any. So field training is anywhere usually around 6 months. So probably 6 months they'll get reassigned, and we'll probably get officers from that class.
is there an
This is
incentive?
35, right?
33.
Or 33?
It's right over there, right over this one. 169. Right here, 169. Anybody, any questions? Let me look at the questions from the public, if there are any. No questions. Lieutenant, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Remember to please try and give us those numbers for the
I'll look at
chance.
them right now. No
Yeah,
problem.
if you wanna, have those numbers before the meeting is out, even better.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go through my emails so I can.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Officer Taveras, floor is yours from the 3-4 precinct.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Officer Tavares, 34 Precinct Community Affairs. I wanted to start off by saying that usually our crimes and our patterns and things that are going on are similar to the 3-3 because we're connected to the 3-3 and we're all Washington Heights. So I'll begin with the numbers. The numbers are, I'm gonna give you the 28-day period from last year to this year. No murders last year. This year we have 2 rapes compared to 1 rape last year. Not that it makes it any better, but the reason for these rapes are domestic. They're basically relationship and basically one of the parties came forward and stated that they were raped in their relationship. This the next one we have is robbery. Compared to last year, we had 14 last year. This year we have 22. We have basically that's a 50% increase. That increase is exactly what the lieutenant from the 33rd precinct is explaining. The same thing that a lot of individuals are showing chains and stuff like that, and we've had an increase in necklaces being stolen and cell phones being snatched, mainly from individuals on mopeds. These crimes would either happen sometimes some with firearms, some just snatch and go kind of crime, and basically so like it was asked earlier, it's basically a crime of opportunity. That's what we recommend, to hide your merchandise, hide your items, so you don't become an easy target, and that's basically what's going on with that. We have a decrease in felony assaults. Last year we had 33. This year we have 20. We have an uptick in burglaries. Last year being 9, and this year being 13. Our increase have been from commercial robberies, where individuals have broken into like the MTA pound, steal tools and stuff like that, or breaking into trucks. Basically, we've had a lot of trucks parking in our area where individuals would break into them to see if any merchandise was left behind in these trucks. Um, uh, the mere fact that if anything was stolen is not it's not that it's not the case, but it doesn't matter. They broke into it, so it's gonna be a burglary. Um, I'm sorry, let me because it came down. That's our uptick in burglaries. Last year for grand larcenies we had 36 compared to this year. Now we have 57. The increase in that is along with the robberies is the same thing. Whether the difference between the robbery and grand larceny would be if you're hurt, and that would make it a robbery. If you're not hurt and these items are snatched from you, cell phone snatched from your hand, that's considered a grand larceny. So that's why there's an uptick. There's been an uptick where two gentlemen on mopeds, which is the usual MO, two guys one on one moped, and take a cell phone from an individual that's walking. Usually like the lieutenant mentioned, usually the person is on their phone, head down, and not paying attention to their surroundings, and that's like the easy victim in the sense. The next one we have is grand larceny. I won't lie, I'm surprised we're actually down on the grand larcenies. Last year we had 15, this we have 11. I say I'm surprised because it's been common with the key fob thing that the lieutenant was mentioning. Cars and vehicles are being stolen very easily, and we've seen an uptick in Hondas and Toyotas. Those have been our biggest. I don't want to say issue, but like those have been the go-to cars. I guess it's the preferable car. So that's why we recommend the old school car jacks, the steering wheel jacks. Those are very good. We actually have some of those at the precinct. So if you know anybody that has the newer model Hondas or Toyotas that are push starts, those are usually the go-to vehicles that get basically vandalized, not vandalized, but stolen, because they don't want to take parts. They do take parts off of these cars, but mainly if they're able to, they'll definitely try to steal these cars, the Hondas and Toyotas. So like I said, I definitely recommend like the steering wheel locks. Those help. Same thing that like the lieutenant said, it helps give a little bit of time. And sometimes these individuals don't go with tools to steal your vehicle. They just have the little key fob, and if you happen to have that on there, they don't have an item to go ahead and cut these off. It'll make it difficult and possibly not get the car stolen. The next one is that's it. Actually, that was the last one. GLA grand larceny auto was the last one.
And could you remind me, it's a specific like age of car, right? It's like it's not like the most recent ones. It's like
it's not every single car, but if you have a push start vehicle, I have a few because those are the ones that they're really going for, because I guess it's easier. Key ignition vehicles are harder for them to, I guess, steal, so that's why they're not stealing. But the ones that are key is because it's with a signal that they get to turn the vehicle on, so that's why they steal those easier. Along with I agree with the lieutenant that you put tire locks on your vehicle tires. You put like take all those precautionary measures to give us a minute or two, or give the public a minute or two to just encounter them in the streets, because that's what it is. They just see a vehicle that's easy to steal their tires and whatever. I'm sure it's steal your tires and sell it off somewhere else to make a few bucks on it, and that's most likely what's going on. It's the same thing with the inside of the vehicle, to put a steering wheel lock on it. I personally actually have one myself, and I have an older vehicle. I have a Hyundai, and I bought one because I knew that Hyundais were being stolen very frequently. And the one that I have, it basically loops around into your steering wheel, and you lock it into the seatbelt holder. So you basically need bolt cutters to go ahead and cut that off, because it won't let you turn the steering wheel once the vehicle is on.
How, my usual question is how many, police officers do you have on staff? And how many are you short of? And what can we
So,
do to make sure that are you full staff?
so, so I can't give you the exact number right now because I'm not in the office. We have a funeral and I'm out here. I came into the car to jump on the meeting. But
Thank you.
last month, of course, last month I remember saying that we had 111 officers. I that was before getting the no, it wasn't last month. It was the month before, and we had just gotten the new 56 officers that were coming, and now this month we also just got another 14 of the new class that just came out. The only thing is it sounds beautiful and I think it's great for us for our community and for the area. The only thing is, like the lieutenant mentioned, we're just a precinct that receives all these new officers, but then they also take some from us after they're done during their training. They basically let them go to other precincts that are in need, like the 33rd. So we do get to help. We still get to help out our neighbors, but they also go to other precincts like the 20th precinct. So just different precincts around. But we don't get to keep them all, sadly. Even though we got a decent amount that would help us for a long time if we kept the 50 and the new 14. So right now we have about 160 officers. The only thing is that we definitely to continue to answer your question, how much do we usually have? How much is a well running 3-4 precinct? Maybe 225 to 275. So we're definitely still down from what we should have, but it's because of that, because of a lot of people resigning, transferring from this department to another department, retiring also. So those are the main factors. I'll also answer because I remember the question regarding the Washington Bridge and the George Washington Bridge. I've noticed that myself, the increase in traffic, and I guess impatient drivers also. So because of that, I've spoken to the commanding officer. We've only done it once or twice, like 1 or 2 weekends, where we basically not invite, but we ask for uh, one one traffic sergeant and 8 traffic agents to be on important intersections to basically help flow traffic.
Yeah.
And basically get traffic moving on the busier days. So that would decrease an inpatient driver, and it would help with visibility where he's not a police officer, but it would be a little bit more respect for the traffic laws out in the area, and also it'll help our traffic in our neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that the Washington Bridge entrance also connects with one of the GWB ramps and some of the GWB off ramps down Amsterdam. So that entire
Yes.
corridor is just a freaking mess all the time. So
It's a cluster, and I know I've noticed from Wednesday to Friday, it's a disaster.
Yeah,
From 2 in the afternoon to like 8 p.m.
People also, I live on 177 in Amsterdam, and sometimes we're walking on it's like 179. People come off the highway and they're just driving highway speed and they just whip onto 179. So there's accidents waiting to happen here with pedestrians. And then also the traffic flow stuff is insane there. So anything you can do to deploy more people there would be great.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely help. We, like I said, we did it once or twice.
Yeah.
Now
I feel like somebody out there. Yeah.
I feel like now in the winter it's more needed, especially with daylight savings.
Right.
So we're definitely trying to work on having that every single week instead of just here and there.
Right. Sounds good. And the DOT is working with us on trying to make it flow better, but it's in the meantime we just have to patch it with having people avoid these incidents. So
I have a concern in regards to excuse me, the bikers and also the moped users, right?
Mhm.
They have specific lanes to use, and yet they're using the sidewalks. So it's like, what is being done to enforce the proper usage of those transportation modes?
We have a unit, our traffic unit that goes out there, and we're specifically looking for vehicles. But if we have any mopeds that we find doing as you say, jumping on the sidewalk, running red lights, we're out there pulling them over and giving them their summonses, because especially mopeds and bikers, because it's, you know, those individuals should be a little bit safer, since it's easier for them to get injured if they even get touched by a vehicle or run a red light. That's usually how a pedestrian could get killed in our neighborhoods, by running a moped running a red light, and a vehicle coming through a green light. So
If you were to have an individual, an officer on 182nd Street between Amsterdam and Laurel Hill, you will catch a variety of individuals doing that on a constant basis.
coming down into Laurel Hill, basically.
No, coming out of the bridge, coming from the Bronx.
Coming from the Bronx.
They're coming out of the bridge, coming from the Bronx, they have a whole bike lane, and instead of going on the bike lane, they stay on the sidewalk.
Okay, I'll bring it up to our traffic unit, and it'll definitely I'll bring it up to the traffic supervisor, so he can basically give the info to the guys, and have guys and girls, and have some more presence over there. Do you have like a time frame? Like, is this 24/7, or is there some specific times that they're mainly out there?
At 6 in the morning, between 6 and 7, and that's when I experience it.
So they
Okay.
come off the
Okay.
ramp from the Washington Bridge,
Yeah, from the
and then
Bronx.
they're
From the Bronx
from the
Bridge.
Bronx, and then they're
Instead of going on the bike, they stay on
Yeah.
the sidewalk.
They're on the path on for the High Bridge all the time as well. There's constantly people zipping by on these mopeds there, which I'm sure they're not supposed to. So
So let me,
Yeah,
just to
I
add
got
to that, have you guys been enforcing the 50 miles an hour limit for mopeds, and law that you just passed?
50 miles per hour.
15.
Oh,
For moped. Yeah,
yeah,
just the law, the new
that
law that
gets-
the mayor passed about a month ago.
I'm pretty sure that gets enforced, but I'm more. I don't think that's the bigger problem. I think it's more the lights, and like, because I've noticed it myself, where I pull people over also for they a lot of mopeds and bikers think that they don't that because they're on bikes or on mopeds, they don't have to follow those laws. So
Mhm.
that's the speed limit is, from what I've seen, is not the issue. It's more of that, like running red lights, definitely jumping on the sidewalk, like delivery people or whatnot. But
But the speed limit is a deterrent for other things, sort of like the quality of life issues. You
Oh,
start
absolutely.
small, and then it moves on into the bigger issues, which is running a person over. Like last year, we had a complaint from a resident in Fort Tryon who almost got run over by a moped in the middle of in the middle of the park. And she brought her daughter here, so that was, that was really traumatic for her, and even for us that were here listening to her story. So that's what I'm saying, like, something as simple as enforcing that law, that is specific law. These moped drivers and delivery guys, they all know each other. It's like a very tight knit circle.
Yeah.
So you get a few tickets, and the word will spread.
the word spreads. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's similar to like the taxi world also, where it gets around, and people obey the obvious laws.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I have just one more concern, or not really concern, but a suggestion in regards to the 3-3 and 3-4. making an effort to be in the community more so. I don't know. I don't know, like an example of, coffee with a cop kind of a thing, where your presence is not just felt as law enforcement, but your presence is also felt as part of the community. So I put that out there because I know I've tried to do something with the precinct and it fell through. So I put that out there so that hopefully that could be in the forefront in regards to collaborating with the community that you're in.
That goes for both of you, right?
And did you try doing that recently with the 3-3? Because it's the first I heard of it.
No, it happened with me with the 3-4.
Oh, you didn't reach
Yeah.
out to my community affairs, did you, about that?
No, because
Okay.
I'm in 3-4. I'm on 181st Street.
Okay.
But I just think it's imperative that collaboration, that community collaboration, be created and be done, right? Be carried out versus just seeing you guys as law enforcement and not part of the community that we live in.
I understand.
Thank you.
We'll put something
I agree.
together with our community affairs, and we'll start coming up with some ideas.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
I agree. I don't have the details, but we plan on having a event at the Star Senior Center for our seniors at the end of this month. I'll get you guys the details on that when we have a specific date and time. It's most likely going to be before Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving. I'll let you guys. I'll let the public and you and your office know when that will be.
It's a great idea. Coffee with the CO or something. Coffee with the police.
I think coffee with cops would be awesome.
They have a night out.
In
That-
one of our
that's-
closets.
Yeah.
That's a plan also. It's just we want to do something for the seniors since it's the holiday time also. But that one the coffee with a cop is simpler and we could definitely get that done from one week to the next. So that's why we want to do something for the seniors, and since it's the holiday season, I think me and my partner's out at the funeral, just like trying to just be there for the individual and the family. But we
Next question. No, you're listening. You sure? This is the platform. This is the space.
Yeah.
All right, good enough. We'll get to ask questions here. Tanish.
Yeah.
Haven't
Look at that
heard you.
book.
Yeah.
I just have one. I feel like we are real reactive, and we need to be more proactive as a community, as police officers, etc. So looking towards the future and knowing that this month a lot of people didn't get their food stamps, do you anticipate there being more misdemeanor crimes of people stealing food in a couple of weeks? Or are y'all thinking about that? Are y'all thinking about ways to work with, I guess, us and other people to source food? Because I know that our governor put 40 million into food pantries, but we know that all of our communities in Washington Heights, Inwood, and the Bronx don't have food pantries in their neighborhood, right? So just wondering if you guys are thinking about that, and because the lack of food will cause people to commit crime when they are hungry, right? Or quality of life issues. Yeah. So is there any talk about this very pressing issue, especially, in the American holiday month of Thanksgiving?
Yeah. If it's okay with the lieutenant, I'll answer that since it's kind of my
That's
round.
fine. If anything, I'll jump in.
Yeah. So this is what I guess what community affairs deals with, and we've been in talks with food pantries and also at churches to try to collect food and make sure that, not like you said, to be proactive and prevent this from even happening, where we can go ahead and provide food to our communities. I've even been in contact with some basically like what do you call it, like a fresh market that provides food, that they would come to our communities and provide free food for the community, just because that's what these organizations do. So I'm currently in talks with them to try to get that happening this month, since like you said, this is a month that's pretty needed, I guess. It's kind of crucial. And hopefully it's the only month that's needed, that by next month that can change back. But we're definitely in talks of trying to make that happen, and make sure that we don't, we get in front of it before it gets to that point where people have to commit crimes to get some food, because it's legitimately their only way of getting some food.
Great. Well, I'll put my email in the chat, and in my personal capacity, I do a lot of work for the community,
awesome.
especially in sourcing food. We just cooked 3 meals for the community. We had pork roast and black beans and white rice, spaghetti with rolls, and we had baked honey hot chicken with homemade mashed potatoes and all of this stuff. But this is coming from our pockets. So, and I live in the area where the 2 supportive housing buildings are on 163rd. So we already know supportive housing, we have a lot of those in our community. And in the community that I live in, the food pantry might as well be 5 miles away, right? By the time that the people in my community get to that food pantry on the other side on Broadway, food will be gone, or there will be more need than they have accessible, right? So
Yeah.
Me and other community-based organizations, we're asking these questions because we're willing to give our time, to collect this food and to give it out in a real, holistic way in all of these different pockets in our neighborhoods that don't have access to food pantries. And sending people over to those pantries will oversaturate, and people will still end up with food. And it's a humbling thing to be waiting online for hours because you're hungry.
Yeah. Very. I also want to say we have in the confines of my precinct, we have a food pantry on 182nd Street and Broadway. Basically, they make a line starting at 9 a.m. Every Thursday morning. 9 a.m. every Thursday morning. That's one of them. That's not the main one that I've been sourcing one that's in Lower Manhattan to try to see if they can come up here and provide some for our area, which would be an added to this already food pantry. And I also wanted to mention, it's kind of a side note, but it's similar. In the 34th precinct and in the 33rd, we have a relief box for Jamaica that we're trying to basically collect food because of the disaster in Jamaica, and trying to help out some families out there also. So if anybody wants to donate canned goods, anything non-perishable, that's also something else that we would appreciate it, and of course Jamaica would appreciate it.
We have a question from the public in reference to horrible illegal roosters and in horrible conditions in front of 44 Arden Street. But it hasn't gone without any resolutions for over a year and a half.
Yeah, so if I may speak on that, because I'm not sure if you had that person in or not. So Good evening, guys. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with me or not, but for the last 2 years, basically, there's been an ongoing issue with a tenant at 40 Arden Street, which is housing multiple roosters in front of the building, as well as like wildlife. The mayor has been involved. The deputy mayor has been involved. The sergeant for public safety has been involved. 3-4 has been involved. The roosters have been removed on numerous occasions, but the gentleman still continues to have them bring them back over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's coming to a point where I try not to be home. And it's just an ongoing nuisance, like quality of life issue, and it's really, really bad. And there's another person who's in the meeting right now who actually lives in that building, so I know that they're getting it worse than what I am.
You live in 44.
So I don't know what could be done.
The other person,
if this guy needs to like be arrested every time, because if you think about it, if it's a person causing a nuisance outside, screaming and being disorderly, or it's their dog, something's gonna happen, you know, and it's ongoing, like I said. And then also he's also holding like parking spots for people and charging people, you know, to hold the spots, and this you hear fighting all the time outside. It's crazy.
So, that's our precinct. That's 34th. I'll answer that. We've been working on that, and the reason that it's taken as long as it has to deal with is because we've been removing chickens, roosters as much as we can throughout the 2 years, like you've mentioned. But the problem is that according to New York City law, roosters are not allowed in any area, but chickens are allowed. And so that's why we basically have to work with the city, the ASPCA or ACC, to remove these chickens from the streets because of possible cruelty. That's the way that these chickens could be removed, since they technically can't be removed just because out of law.
Well, sorry, Kishore. So wouldn't it be part of the law still? But because I read the penal code for it very, very like clearly and intact, so I don't sound like an idiot when I present it. But if they're actually causing a nuisance issue, they're not basically allowed. Basically, if he's keeping them like properly housed and fed and in a private habitat.
And that's why we're working on. Actually, it was last week that we were talking about this and trying to get them removed because of that, because it's cold out now. So it's like there's definitely reason, even if it's legal to have this chicken, to own this chicken, even if it's legal for you to have it, we're trying to find ways to just be able to remove it, because we know that it's a nuisance to the public and to the community. So we don't want it to be there as much as this individual wants to have his chickens. We've been like that, like looking into like, not looking into, but just the simple fact that it's cruelty, that it's going to be 30-40 degrees outside and these chickens are going to be sitting outside. And that's, you know, it's an animal that some eat, but at the same time it is an animal. So it's like, you know, it should not be out in the street. And that's I don't want to say our excuse, but our reason for trying to remove them, even if it's legally allowed. So the fact that it's a nuisance, I'm not well versed. I won't pretend like I am. I'm not well versed on animal cruelty and the info behind it, but I know that if there's some sort of cruelty, then the animal can be removed. So that's what we're jumping on, and we are working with the mayor's office still, because it's been a little bit difficult to completely find the solution and just get all the animals off the street, off that yard, because we know it's a yard.
Yeah, well, I know this much, and I'm not sure if it's helpful. I can maybe send the information to you guys, but so I don't even like live in that building, and I have basically advocated this whole, like, you know, I'm the one who basically started to get the wheels turning on the whole situation. So the building management basically sold the building. They went into like a receivership because they haven't been paying what they needed to pay. So the new building property manager was telling me that he plans on like doing reconstruction in that area, but he's also trying to get help from the cops because this guy is crazy. Like, he threatens people, and so I'm not sure if maybe you guys can partner up somehow. And
well, Lieutenant, I think so that the conversation could actually take more form, and it could come into like tangible solutions. I think you want to share your number with Mike. Mike, are you open to probably just engage in conversations with the Officer Taveras, come to the precinct yourself, and then sort of like come up with a strategy, because this has been going for years. I've heard of this.
Like 2 years, yeah. It's been on
I remember you. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was with CO Narvaez, or the guys that was there before you.
So
as a CO person.
Yeah, we feel for you. That is crazy to deal with, and sorry you're dealing with that.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Is the person bringing the chickens or roosters, does this person live in your building? Does he have some rights?
It's right across the street from my building, and I live on the 5th floor, right across the street. So it echoes, bounces all over.
The chickens
they run in like my courtyard of my building. They tear up the garbage. My super gets tickets all the time because they eat through the garbage. They just tear it up.
So the individual lives, or I guess lives in that apartment that has that lot there, or
The
lives in that
courtyard.
building?
Yeah,
Courtyard.
But so if that's the courtyard of that building, surely the building is in some sort of violation.
so I'm
So-
actually taking the previous building management to court because they were well aware of it and they started playing games. They're like, "Oh, the super's on vacation; he'll take care of it." And then they started pretending that they don't remember who I was, and then they just sold the building in the beginning of last month. But there's somebody in the chat. I'm not sure what their name is on here, but it should be Mickey, maybe. She actually lives in the building.
No. Michael Turney, the chickens are impregnated by these roosters, so even when the roosters are removed, more baby grow. In fact, he's just saying that.
Can we escalate or allow?
Yeah, she lives in that building. She was actually one of the people on the news with me also, but she can give you a better insight as well.
Michael.
It's Mikey, Michelle.
That's bizarre.
Trust me, it's been.
It is bizarre.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is crazy.
But
Hey, everybody. Hi, yes,
Hey.
I'm Mickey.
I make it.
I am a woman, yes. And this situation, like people laugh because it's so absurd. But
It
you
is.
understand that the mental health quality of life decline that we have endured over the last year and a half is absolutely unacceptable for people who are paying rent every month. And we keep getting the runaround. Michael has been attending meetings and talking to people and being taken in circles. It is exhausting. I can't walk in front of my building without fearing that this man is going to verbally threaten me or assault me verbally. He has wielded a machete in the past when people come to take the chickens. It is completely unacceptable that anybody in this city would have to deal with this for a day, much less a year and a half going on 2 years. I live in the apartment that is directly in front of that enclosure. I cannot sleep through a night without being interrupted by noise from these roosters at least 3 or 4 times, like every couple of hours, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m., it does not matter. And every time that we speak with someone that we think can do something about this, nothing gets done, or the problem doesn't get solved. So I'm sorry I'm coming at you all very emotional, but this is maybe the first time that I've been able to put my foot down with people that I believe can do something about this.
Let me ask you something of sort of like, off the grid. Mike was saying that the landlord is on, I guess the building
Yeah,
is
they're
on
in
some sort of
foreclosure.
receiving. They are in foreclosure.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no landlord right now per se.
No, I mean, it's
Not
the
official
guy
landlord.
who's handling the receivership, bless his
Right.
heart. His name is Nicholas. He's taken over to try to figure out all the vendors for the building and like how to get the building serviced. We haven't had pest control in over a year. So we haven't had any of that. Our intercom is supposed to call our cell phones. That service hasn't been paid, so now our intercom doesn't work. I can't tell you the number of 311 reports I have made. Somebody came from HPD because I filed another 311 report about the pest control. They came, they checked, then I got a notification that it's closed and nothing's been done. And this guy, he lives, so there's 3 entrances to this building. It's U-shaped. 40 is the center, 44 is to the left. He lives in 44 in apartment 1K. He has an apartment. We have no idea what that apartment looks like inside.
1K.
And the man has slept outside in the enclosure so nobody comes and messes with his chickens. I mean, the level of absurdity of this whole situation and that it has gone on this long, frankly, like, is beyond me. That somebody hasn't arrested the guy, removed everything from that enclosure, and found a way to clear it out in a one swift and effective way blows my mind.
It really is, I'm short of words to tell you. And again, it's sort of like frustrating to me that I've been for the umpteenth time talking to y'all and trying to get something resolved. I know in the beginning, I think it was suggested that you guys would call ASPCA. They probably did get involved, but they don't really
I've
do
reported
much.
animal cruelty because he also has kept multiple pit bulls in the other enclosure for a while. He has a pit bull that I don't know how well he's taking care of that dog. I mean, I have exhausted the places I can report this to. I called the police a day that he verbally threatened me. They came 10 hours later, and their response was, maybe you should move. That was their response.
Officer Tavares, is there anything that, oh, sorry, Tanisha, just saw your hand.
Hey, so let me get this straight. It's legal for him to keep the chickens there? It's not against the law?
It's legal if he has a coop and like proper I guess living quarters for them. I don't know that it's legal for them to just be out there the way that they are.
Yeah, I would like to know the answer to that question.
It's legal for him to have
think
chickens, Tanisha. It's not legal for him to have roosters.
What?
Just
Chickens only, no roosters.
Okay, thank you for that. But I'm just trying to figure out.
roosters.
But still, it's about public spaces more so.
Right,
than
but
That's my question.
yeah, it's about public space and all of that, but I'm trying to figure out how, is a way to, help this individual understand that he is causing other people distress. Maybe the chickens are like his service animals. We don't know. So I would love to talk to y'all offline and maybe get some more information about this individual, because mental health, is a thing. And a lot of our communities are unwell, and the answer is not criminalization. So I can put my email in the chat and y'all can talk to me offline if y'all want to, but those are my thoughts about it.
Yeah, I agree with you that mental health is a thing, and I don't believe this person is fully well. I do think that when they're being violent and wielding a weapon, that's different. And when they're making threats, that's different. And I also think that the system has really failed someone who is not well if they are resorting to disturbing the entire block.
And that's the root cause of the problem.
So I agree with you there, but there's also no reasoning with him. Like even if I tried to have a reasonable conversation or a conversation, it resorts to yelling and threats and insults. So there hasn't been a lack of effort on my part to be a civilized adult with compassion for whatever his situation is. But there has been zero consideration of anybody else on that man's behalf. And that area belongs to the building. It doesn't belong to him.
Exactly. You want to?
I was gonna say, I'm gonna separate out actual threats to the individual person in the body, which we can all recognize as criminal and so forth and so on, versus the issue of public space, roosters versus chickens and that, because the direct threats to you is a horrible issue, but separate and apart, like what do we do about the roosters?
Right.
And outside of the umbrella of this particular committee, just a couple of like brainstorming thoughts that I'm sure you've thought of, but for points to consideration just to problem solve. Number one, your building is supposed to provide you a nuisance-free home. And what that becomes is it might be helpful to go to our housing committee to talk about what about tenants organization and what could be done in terms of that to enforce that you have the term as quiet enjoyment of your home. That's the legal term. And that might be worthwhile whether your building is doing it and an adjacent building is doing it, right? Because in the sense of that, by affecting dollars sometimes, there's a little bit more of effectiveness. I don't know. This is just a brainstormy thing to do. You're like, I don't mean to give you more homework. I'm just trying to help. So in terms of because you said it's terrorizing the block. So if you're having this issue, other people are having this issue, and it sounds like some sort of a bit more collective action, and you and your neighbor look like you're working together, but to really get some tenants organized or community organized, or maybe have a block meeting about it, because if you're feeling this, other people are feeling this. It also might be, so that's individually you as a tenant, collectively you as a tenant, and maybe see, I don't know, because outside of public safety, like this is nuisance, but it falls under public safety. But I'm sure the housing attorneys and stuff that might be on our adjacent committee. I'm not saying stop coming to us, but I'm also saying, see, they might have brainstorming ideas, only because for Washington Heights and chickens and so forth and so on. Unfortunately, this is not a new thing, but it does seem like every time it comes up, people need to refigure out how to invent this wheel. And my spidey sense is they might also have some ideas too. Food for thought.
Orlando? Anything? No, you good? So we can wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll wrap on this. So you're paying rent to this building.
Mhm.
So there's a landlord,
Never
there's a
missed my-
company you're
never
in.
missed
It's a receivership.
It's in receivership, but that person is still legally obligated to provide legal housing for someone paying rent, right? So that seems to me to be a very clear crime that you could take that person to court over. So I feel like
what we
there's
were
a
The
told-
problem is housing court is crazy. It's not something that.
I'm sure, but that's one of the angles. So, but Nikki, please go ahead.
The landlord, the building management company prior to the receivership, all they kept telling us was, we're taking him to court, we're pursuing this through legal action, we're working with the legal system. That's all they ever said to us about what was being done. Then it went into receivership, and my understanding is that the guy who's in charge of this account now has been fighting with the management company to just get ledgers for the tenants of this building. Like, it has not, the transition has been such that he's unable to do his job because the building management company is being so difficult in turning over the information that he needs.
I hear your empathy for the receivership, but gentlemen, he does not represent your interest, and it might be worthwhile for you to go. And every single housing court in New York City, there is a help center where pro se litigants can talk to actual court attorneys about what their individual rights are. Your rights as a tenant is not lost just because a building is in foreclosure or receivership. And what types of actions that you can do, the receiver is under no obligation to tell you, because they don't represent you.
Yeah.
Therefore, what I'm a little bit saying is that your actions that you can do, regardless of this, that's why I'm sort of saying, I can't say it, but maybe as a former housing court attorney, you have other things that you can do, and maybe not rely on the receiver to tell you what's possible.
Okay.
So I guess you were a housing attorney?
Yeah, for a number of years.
So is there any other comments that, positive or input that you made? Because I know that Officer Taveras is, I'm extremely helpful to help you guys. Because he's been good in that way, like he's very proactive in that way. So, Officer, you put your email address on the chat. Like what Tracy just mentioned, one of the approaches is to just go to the receivership. Say, hey, I'm still paying your rent, just like you said. It's my right to do X, Y, and Z, and the fact that he's doing it in a public space is what sort of like gets to me.
The health aspect.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And I would say put it in writing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pay
so,
bills. Email him.
Officer Tavares, could you give us a summary? So you're saying basically you've been called over the violence, you've been called over the roosters. You said you can take away the roosters on your own. For the chickens, you need ASPCA to get involved. What has happened and what's the status of what will happen next? Because the situation remains criminal as far as we can tell.
I don't think he's on.
think you lost him? No, he's not on. Weird. Start on. Lost.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's.
So, is there any way that you can call, is Noemi here?
No, she stepped out.
She stepped out. What's the number here? Hang on a second.
Yes, on the agenda.
I'm just looking for the office number so I can.
It's on the agenda, so 568.
Yeah, you can call 212 568-8500. Ask for Ebenezer Smith tomorrow at your convenience. He's probably here after 10 o'clock. Then he can he's gonna get in contact with the people at the 3-4 and get you in connection with anyone that we have an organization that can represent you in court.
What
Legal
is the number?
services.
212-568.
567-8500.
Okay, and there's an organization he can.
This is an
connect us
organization,
to?
yeah, I think it's NIMIC. You know NIMIC. NIMIC. Yeah, it can
NIMIC,
probably help you.
NIMIC.
Correct, yeah. And they have legal services, and then the Manhattan legal, forget it, but they have different organizations that can actually help you with this case, on legal representation, free, of course.
Okay, is
Yeah, and of course,
NIMIC is Googleable, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I see.
please, of course, reach out to Officer Tavares, provide all the record, just have that in writing with the email, and then please also come to our meeting next month, and we can even lead off with Officer Tavares.
We got a report, yeah.
We need to
be on.
That's great.
We have to be on it. Can't just
Other people have submitted complaints.
From the building.
This has been a long-standing issue.
From the building, you mean?
Yeah, and the building on the
Yeah.
block, because you mentioned that it was an issue on the entire block and everyone is sort of angry, or many people on that block are.
Yeah,
So how
many people
other
are, and he also has many people who, smile to his face and don't do
Talk
anything
about him.
because
No, I was just saying, I would say maybe get together with those other people that have submitted claims or you think may have submitted claims.
Mhm.
Bring all that stuff together when you're going to NIMIC or any one of these organizations and kind of start working as a block.
She
Yeah.
said it in the beginning, we organize.
Yes.
Yeah, she said.
Sorry.
Brainstorming together, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is that like Tanisha said, being paper trail, like. Darwin, sorry, homie.
No, it's okay.
Right? That you need to organize because without individual documentation that the receiver is not obligated to give you, you can't show the breadth of issues. However, petitions, that's a bunch of signatures, right? Or if someone wants to start a Gmail that every time they email their landlord, they're CCing the same Gmail address that can collectively begin to collect letters that are timestamped, right? That is an easy passive way to begin to get a block of complaints that then you can then come back to us, you can go to Carmen, you could go to other places and say, look at all these different buildings and individuals and places that are having an issue. Because it does seem like you're at the wit's end, but unfortunately, paper trails and collective action at this moment seem like steps and help the help centers.
And certainly be in touch with Carmen's office, Carmen De La Rosa, and make sure they're aware of everything that you
Yeah.
have been doing and are doing.
it's interesting.
Is
I
this
sent an email to
individual a
Carmen
longtime
directly and
resident?
never got an answer.
You didn't hear back from her? Okay.
From Carmen?
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
can you see my email in the chat, Mikhail?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
put
it's
my
there.
email in the chat again.
Is there Tanisha one
Yeah,
at
but you know, if
PSP?
she came on after, she won't see it. So I'll put it in the chat again.
She's a panelist. Just go into the chat and you'll see it there. What's her name?
Mikhail,
Mikhail.
Oh, or Mickey.
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 So, yeah, because I'm very curious. And we want to try to help if we can. You know, we can see that it's obviously stressful, you know, and it's not my first time that I've heard about this. So, yeah, let's see what we can do. But all the things that my co-board member said, yeah, especially the paper trail is so important. Because you can go and you can talk to him until you're blue in the face, and he can say, "We never had a conversation." You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you put it in an email and then CC, I would even say CC the community board. It's a paper trail.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Yeah,
we're gonna-
feel free to CC us on stuff too. That's great.
Is there any more ideas that you guys want to contribute to? Mickey, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We feel you. I would have probably just shot every fucking chicken in that place.
Yeah.
Can't say it out loud, but
Well, you just did.
we just did, right? You should never be thinking out loud.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm not one to be vengeful. Like I've never been a
Yeah.
violent person or like, you know, wished ill on people. And the thoughts that I have had and the wishes that I have had in the last year and a half have honestly surprised me. But the way that this has impacted my mental health and my quality of life is nobody deserves this.
Definitely.
We very much agree.
We
Thank you.
understand.
Yeah. So, having said that, Tanisha, enjoy your shortcation. I know it's a few days.
No, because now I got more to talk to the elected officials about.
Well,
Anyway, guys,
Yeah, so
great meeting,
enjoy. So
y'all.
I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Thank you so much. Gonna let you off the hook so you could go and prepare for your mastership.
Did
Yes.
we close? A motion to close?
Yes.
Did we do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't need a motion if you're not voting. Just call the meeting to order.
Oh, right, because we don't have quorum.
Exactly.
I was here.
I see. Okay, good night.
Good night. Thank you.